this is Overpass Insights. My name is Eric and I make apps. Now today I want to talk about creating the software glue for your clients. Alright, so today let's talk a little bit about a certain type of project that doesn't get a lot of attention in this when we talk about software development, and that is the glue projects, where you're basically taking and gluing two different systems together. So over the years I talk a lot about app development and just software development and the stuff that I've done for myself, my own applications and how we market them, everything like that. But a lot of the stuff I do is for clients. So a client will come to me and they'll say, you know, the ones that you would assume, like, you know, hey, we need this app. You know, it could either be a greenfield project, meaning it's like brand new, there's no existing code, you got complete control over it, or a brownfield project, meaning it's something that's, you know, they have some code, a previous developer worked on it, or, you know, they fell out with them, or they, you know, they're no longer around, so they need you to do some changes, or they've lost confidence in them, whatever. So those kind of stuff. And that all kind of makes sense, right? You're basically producing a piece of software. But sometimes you have these projects that come in where it's not necessarily a piece of software. It's a bit of automation between two different systems. And I call these, you know, basically you're taking two systems and gluing them together. So it could be like whatever, let's say an email comes in on one system and that needs to trigger off a process that does a different system, or something happens over here. Like, let's say you have like an inventory management system, and when something happens in the inventory system, that needs to be reflected in an accounting system. So I get this kind of stuff all the time. Eric, we have these two different things. We call this one that, we call this one this. They're both proprietary. So you got systems like Zapier and that kind of stuff that you could take, you know, off the shelf systems and merge together. But if both are written custom, then, or even if one of them is written custom, a lot of times those Zapier solutions don't work. So they need a developer to come in and look at it. Those are difficult projects to work on because they're really difficult to code on. You have to ask a lot of questions up front to figure out, like, you know, the lay of the land, right? You ask questions like, you know, okay, is there an API to this system? Do either of these systems have an API? Do we have, you know, is a previous developer around to write us an API? Or do we have direct database access so we can write our own API? That kind of stuff, you know, depending on the different type of system it is, right? You know, and a lot of the times when you're asking the clients this, they're like, I don't know the answer to that. So how much is it going to cost? How much is it going to cost? And that's one of those, you know, delicate situations where you can't give a quote because you really don't know what you're getting involved with, right? These kind of projects, you know, as difficult as they are, they're one of the most rewarding type of things you can do, because basically you're making their entire world easier. Like, you're making their whole process easier. So like a lot of times when you got these companies that come to you and they're asking for one of these, you know, integration projects or glue projects, they have no idea how the two systems are going to connect to each other. And you have to consider what was the best way of doing that. Like, what are the trigger points? Is it like running on a schedule, like every night something runs, or every 5 minutes something runs? Is it something that's triggered by a process, all this kind of stuff? What language you're going to use? Is it going to be like Node.js running on a server? It's going to be some C#? Is it going to be Java? You know, depending on, you know, what kind of infrastructure and everything they have. But basically what you're doing is you're prior to you coming into these projects, this is one of the things that's rewarding about it, because prior to you coming into these kind of projects, there's like some poor guy or girl like just keying things into two different systems. They have a process where they check one thing every morning and do this. You know, I once was doing something like this at an investment bank. We've done loads of them with Overpass, but like I can remember once being in an investment bank and somebody said, Eric, you got to be careful because you might be taking away that guy's job, right? And I was like, this was like a ridiculous system where I had somebody with 2 Excel spreadsheets. Like, he would look at these 2 workbooks every day and he would double key one into the other. Not even copy paste. Like, he would print it out and then key it into the other one. Right? And somebody said, oh, he might be taking away his job. But one of the things as software people is like when you look at something, you see something that's really inefficient, you hate that. Like, I hate seeing something that's inefficient. Like the whole, you know, well, at least he has a job thing. Every time I do a project like this, my assumption is that person's life's going to become easier. He's going to be work on more high value things and get more stuff done. Because I think a lot of the times with these smaller projects, especially smaller, mid-sized to small-sized companies, they do have, like, you know, people who just like do mundane, routine stuff that could easily be automated by developers, right? I wanted to talk about this because we don't talk about this a lot, and it's like I said, it's got to be, I don't know, about 20% of the projects that I have come in is like just somebody, and it's really, one of the weird things is like that somebody even thinks to ask these kind of questions, like, could we take this system and merge it with that system and then have them talk to each other? And a lot of the stuff, a lot of the kind of projects we do like that. So it's something, the reason I bring this up is a lot of the guys ask, you know, how do I get new clients for my software company? How do I this kind of stuff? And that's something to think about. Like, how do you market yourself in that way? How can you put yourself out there as like not just a one-trick pony where I can make an app or I can make a, you know, a website or I can do this, but also like I'm the kind, you know, if you could be the kind of developer who can look at two different systems and think like from, you know, take a step back and think, how would I get those two systems to talk to each other? Then, you know, basically you make the world a better place. You make, you know, businesses run more smoothly. That kind of stuff is exciting to me. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I mean, how many of you guys have worked on systems like that? Because it must be about, I must have worked on like a dozen different systems where I couldn't even show somebody the results of it because it was like some bit of code that's running somewhere, and basically it's, you know, making everybody's lives easier, but there's no GUI, there's no interface, there's nothing like that. It could be pretty rewarding. So anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you guys. I hope you guys are having a great, hope you guys have had a great week. We're going to do the live stream on Monday again this week. We haven't done it for a few weeks. I hope you guys are healthy. I hope you're safe. And that's it. I'll talk to you next time.